Have you ever spent more time thinking about a project than actually doing the project? Good enough gets things done. Now, I know if you're a perfectionist, you are bristling at this, and I get it. As a recovering perfectionist myself, I'm with you. However, for years, overthinking and perfectionism have held me back from doing so many things in life because I was worried about judgment, worried if it would be good, wanted to be ready, needed to do more research, needed to make sure it was perfect, and that's just not attainable. When you do that, when you get stuck in that perfectionism, it keeps you planning and researching and strategizing instead of actually doing it. Researching it is not doing it. Planning it is not doing it. Doing it is doing it. Today, we're going to explore how to set good enough standards, overcome perfectionism, and get things done. If you're like me and you want to know what to expect, here are the main 3 things we're going to hit. 1, we're going to talk about why good enough is much better than perfect. I know, crazy, but stay with me. Number 2, we're going to talk about a framework for setting realistic expectations. And then number 3, we're going to talk a little bit how to celebrate and how to adjust as you go, because you're always going to be iterating. Let's jump into it. Why is good enough better than perfect? Well, A, perfect is never going to happen. It's not actually an attainable thing as much as we may want it to be, as much as we want to strive to make something perfect. It's not a real attainable goal. When we're being big perfectionists, it's really just procrastination wearing a mask. And if we give into procrastination for too long, then it becomes stagnation. Now, I find a lot of people who struggle with perfectionism are also overachievers or high achievers and want to continually grow and move forward. And so we don't want that here. Something that's really changed how I approach all of my projects is thinking about progress over perfection. Every time I do something, I know it's not going to be perfect, but I know I'm going to make progress. So whatever I put out there, it's going to be better than what I did before because I've learned from it. And so I'm going to be leveling up. And every time I do that thing, whether it's making a YouTube video, making a LinkedIn post, making a new recipe that I'm excited to try out, it's only going to get better from there. And that's the beautiful thing. You can mess up, you can make mistakes, you can screw up. And when you let go of perfectionism, at least for me, this weight came off of me because I realized it doesn't have to be perfect. I just need to try and then look at it, do a little post-mortem, look at it and figure out where I need to go from here to make it even better next time. And then I also keep in mind, like I said, that thinking about it is not doing it. Doing it, no matter how imperfectly, is going to move you forward every single time. Now let's talk about that framework for setting realistic expectations, because I know myself, I can get pretty big expectations, especially of myself, never of anyone else, but of me, my expectations are huge. What I imagine I can accomplish in an hour, a day, a week, a month is very unrealistic. And so I've had to come up with a framework that works for me. 1, you want to define the goal very clearly, very specifically. It cannot be vague. You want to be very exact with what the end goal is, not necessarily just the thing that you're going to do. What is the end goal of it? Be very specific so that you're not going to feel disappointment after. As I'm sure you've heard, because you're probably someone who's into goals, break those big things into small, manageable tasks. So let's say I'm going to be putting out a course or a workshop. I break it down into a bunch of different things. I have an outline, and then from there I make my slides, and then from there I get someone to look it over, and then I go in and I run through it 3 times and I adjust the slides, and then if I need a learner guide or additional items to go along with it, and I make that list of all of those little things because they all add up. If I just say, make a workshop on blah, that is a huge rock, that's a huge boulder, and I'm not going to feel very motivated because it feels too big. This way, if it's just small things, I can break those off one piece at a time. And also, if you're anything like me, making a list and checking it off just feels like magic. I actually am that person that I'll make a list, and if I do an additional thing that actually wasn't on the list, I'll write it down and then check it off. That's me. What can I say? But looking at a list of all the things I've done makes me feel so happy. I'll even use my calendar and I'll write down just even the adulting I've done that day so that I can look back at my calendar and be like, I am crushing life. Look at me go. Once you have that goal clearly defined, you're going to want to assess your resources. What do you have that can make this easier, or what do you already have that you can get going on this goal? And you have to start by being honest about how much time, energy, and focus you have. Again, I can be very guilty of this. I'm working a full-time job and I'm also building this brand. And sometimes I just think, oh yeah, I'll just go from a full day and then I'll work for a bunch of hours on this and it'll be great. But you are a human, so be realistic about how many hours of focus you have in a day, as well as energy, as well as time, because you need to take care of yourself in other ways as well, eating healthy, working out, socializing, all those good things. And within this is my favorite question, possibly of all time: how could this be easy? Initially, when I approach something, I tend to come at it like with my first thought, and that first thought is generally not my most efficient one. It's usually just like what I quickly came up with. So take a moment and step back after you have your initial plan and think, okay, wait, how could this be easy? How could I streamline this for myself? Do I have tools or shortcuts that could help? Do I know someone who knows a lot about this and I could pick their brain about it? I love to think about my network and who I can tap for different things, even just to get a bit more information on something. And then finally in this framework, think about your own skill set. As much as possible, try to stay in your genius zone. Think about those things that light you up, that you start doing and you completely lose track of time, that you get recharged from, those things that you love doing. Those are the things that you are the most effective at. Those are the things you'll be the most efficient with, and try to make sure that those are the things you are doing. If you're able to, outsource those other things or get help on those other things that you're maybe not so good at. I, for instance, am terrible with numbers and spreadsheets and would 100% happily cook a meal for a friend for them to take care of something like that for me. I also find slides very difficult to do. I just find I can't get the aesthetic right. I can tell it's wrong, but I have no idea how to fix it. So I outsource for that. I go to Fiverr or a place like that and I get someone to do it who does this all the time. We are now at the third section of this video, and that is to celebrate along the way and adjust as you go. It's important to take time to celebrate those little things, those little milestones, even if they're small. Take a moment to appreciate them. Take a moment to appreciate yourself for putting in all this hard work. You are the one doing all these things tirelessly. Other people are often not seeing all this effort that we put in, but you are seeing it, and so you need to recognize yourself. It's going to help boost your motivation as well as your mental health. And it could be anything. Check it off, and I sometimes will just be like, you're amazing, great job. Say something ridiculous like that. I knew a person that would light a candle and they would say, I did X, Y, and Z today. I'm amazing. Whatever works for you, but have some way that you're celebrating your wins. And adjusting along the way to me means that you're making sure that you're always learning. Embrace learning and stay flexible. Know that this journey is going to have you learning a lot, and isn't that wonderful? That's fantastic. I get to level up all the time while I'm learning how to make videos and how to make newsletters and how to do all these things. Isn't that wonderful? Instead of seeing it as this like jobstacle, an obstacle in my way, I'm instead embracing that I get to learn all these things. You're gonna learn new information, you're gonna face new challenges, and you are 100% capable to figure it out. We have the internet, we can figure out anything. And so just keep pushing forward and accept that you're going to be learning new things all the time. And that's it. Let's recap. Remember that good enough gets things done, and progress over perfection all the time. Write it on a post-it if you need to, write it on your journal, write it on your desktop, whatever you need. Use a framework and set very clear goals. Divide your tasks up, assess your resources, and celebrate those milestones. And just remember that you're going to be adjusting as you learn. Imperfection is all part of the process. Try to just really embrace and enjoy the journey. Instead of focusing on that goal, just enjoy the time along the way. And now I have a challenge or a dare for you. I dare you to have a project this week and just complete it to 90% of what you think is 90%. No triple checking it, no obsessing over it, no losing sleep at night. Trust that your 90% is likely way more than enough. Getting things done, no matter how imperfectly, will get you so much closer to the goals that you're looking to achieve. Good luck.